Hey you guys, how's it going? Welcome back. So today we are continuing the work on repairing the Dodge VIPER differential, and in the last video we actually were successfully able to get sheared bolts out of the ring gear as well as a frozen bolt that I then stripped trying to get out of one of the half shaft connections. And both of those, truth be told, took a fraction of the time and a fraction of the bloodshed that I thought they were going to take. So I was able to get through that stuff much faster than I thought, and we are now at the stage in the project where we have to get the differential and all of its parts cleaned. Is probably going to be the least fun part of the whole project in general. This thing hasn't probably been cleaned since it originally rolled out from the production line 25 or something years ago. So there's years upon years, decade upon decade worth of gunk and road grime and grease and oil and crap and dirt caked and solidified and calcified and fossilized. It's probably going to be a pain to clean, in all honesty, but it has to be done. Let's jump into this thing, see how far we get, see how well we do, and yeah, we'll go from there. So let's get started. Alright, so this is going to be the first of many cleaning phases, and I'm still actually trying to figure out what those other cleaning phases are going to be. But for now, this phase is just super straightforward and simple, and so I'm just using good old-fashioned regular paper towels to soak up and sop up all the old oil. Now, I have been looking up the best way to clean the inside of a differential. Like with anything, there's multiple schools of thought, often opposing the other schools of thought. There's people out there saying use WD-40, use brake cleaner, then there's other people who say don't use WD-40 and don't use brake cleaner, but the majority consensus seems to be don't use WD-40 and only use brake cleaner if you're not around the internals of the differential. So I'm just gonna get some of the major chunks and crap cleaned up, then I probably will take brake cleaner to this whole thing inside and outside, because that is just absolutely disgusting. Oh, and there's a cricket right there. How the hell did you get up here so fast? So I think that is what I'm going to do. Brake cleaner on the whole thing. I'm going to use a razor blade and or Scotch-Brite type of pad to kind of rub all this old gasket crap off. Alright, let's give it a shot. I'm going to try to get off the old gasket RTB stuff. I don't have a pressure washer, but my hose is the next best thing. Alright, that's a pretty good start. I'm going to haul it back in the garage and keep scrubbing it down. Alright, well, it looks like this could take me half of my life to get finished, so I think I'm going to give you guys the quick version and I'll catch up with you in a few. Alright you guys, full disclosure, that took me several hours to do, still not completely finished, and I ran out of daylight, and let's be honest, you probably don't want to see me scrub this thing for hours upon hours upon hours. So let me show you what I did. It cleaned up pretty good. It's not perfect, but I also don't want to really kill myself trying to clean something that's going to get dirty quite fast all over again anyways. With that said, it's still looking pretty good. Yeah, let's check it out. I do have to say, it looks pretty good. Turn it like this so you guys can see this side. This definitely isn't perfectly 100% clean, but it is so much cleaner than what it was. I'd like to get it a little more clean, but what I am going to do right now is I'm going to degrease this thing. So I'm just going to use this simple engine degreaser. Alright, so we're going to let that sit for about 15 minutes or so and rinse it off. Alright, it's been 15 minutes. I'm going to go out and rinse this thing off. Alright, the diff cover is drying in the sun, so now we're going to get started on this guy. Alright, so here's the inside of this thing. If you've been watching these videos, you've already seen the inside, but here's just a reminder of what it's looking like. It's fairly clean, all things considered, and it's fairly undamaged in terms of the shrapnel that were the sheared bolts flying all around. There is some damage right there, and there's just a couple minor dings in a couple other spots, like back there, right there, that's a little ding. You can see like right where the light's shining. We got some scratches, I think, from where the bolts sheared off and blew up or whatever. So obviously you got the remains of the gasket on the edge. We've also just got some gunk, metal fragments here and there on the bottom. Let's start jumping into it and cleaning this thing as best we can. Just like we did with the differential cover, we are gonna start simple, just soaking up and sopping up all the old leftover oil that wouldn't completely drain by itself. Old gasket starting to come off, which is a good thing. I'm gonna start spraying this with a degreaser. Alright you guys, I've been scrubbing this thing for quite a while. It's definitely not perfect, but it's better than what it was before. I gotta keep reminding myself that it's never gonna be perfect, and it's okay because this is a driving car, not a show car, and we got more important things that we gotta spend our time on doing, such as getting this old RTB gasket stuff off, and of course getting all the internal pieces cleaned, prepped, and ready for reassembly. So let's work on getting this stuff off and we'll go from there. I've gotten most of the gasket off. Now I'm just working on getting these holes cleaned up. Just spraying in a little brake cleaner and then kind of twisting my Scotch-Brite pad in the opening. It's working pretty good. I'm just gonna keep on working on it, but I think you guys get the idea at this point especially. So I'll give you the quick version again and I'll be back in a couple minutes. So I'm running out of sunlight again, so I may have to end up finishing this video in the dark, but look at the progress we have made. Here's the edge, and I've got to say it is looking pretty darn good. I still do have to do just a little bit of cleanup. There's still a few specks of crap and still a few little pieces of gasket left over. These are literally just holes, unlike these that are actually bolt threads, but these are just holes that has the old RTP gasket stuff still in it. So yeah, that is pretty darn good. For all intents and purposes, I am really happy with how it's turned out. And then of course the inside is much, much better than it was. No doubt about it. It's way better than what it was. It almost looks brand new. Not quite, but almost, especially comparing to how it looked before. So I'm pretty darn happy. Alright you guys, I think that's gonna pretty much wrap it up for today's video. I have been scrubbing this thing for hours upon hours upon hours. I'm gonna call it good. I got it as good and as clean as I could possibly get it. But as I've said, this is not a show car, it's a driving car. For all intents and purposes, this part of the project is done. I'm super happy that it is, and I'm excited to move on to the next phase of the project. Next phase of the project is, I think, reassembly, although there may be an obstacle or two around the next corner. So I'll get into that during the next video, but for now, I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you on the next one.